Hello everyone, and to all who come to this happy place, welcome. If you're new here, my name's Abby and I make Disney content here on my channel. And this month we're celebrating Vlogmas. So I wanted to make sure that Vlogmas had a lot of different kinds of content for you. So no matter what kind of Disney fan you are, whether it's movies, parks, you know, the whole shebang, whatever it is, you've got something to watch. So I also thought it would be fun to share with you what's going on with my January trip. So for those of you that don't know, I go to Disney 2 to 3 times or more a year. I have an annual pass, so it makes it really reasonable. Flights are not that expensive from where I live. So I'm really lucky to be able to do that. I have a lot of friends that are still in the Orlando area after our Disney college program, so that makes it like even more of a draw for me to go visit so often. So my last trip was in October and my next upcoming trip is in January. We are at like the 45-day mark, somewhere around there. I've kind of lost count. But super excited. We made fast passes a couple weeks ago. So I'm going to share with you what's going on. So we are going from a Monday to a Friday in January. And it's going to be me and my mom. And then my friend Kaylee is going to be meeting up with us a lot when she's not working. We are staying at a new resort to us, so we'll be staying at Old Key West, which is a Disney Springs area resort. We've never stayed there, but we are super excited. And one of the reasons that we actually chose Old Key West for this trip is because we're going at kind of a lull. So the park hours are actually a lot shorter than they usually are compared to like our last couple trips. So the parks every night except Epcot, all the parks are closing at 8 o'clock. There's extra magic hours at Magic Kingdom one night, but other than that, the parks are closing really early. So one of the great things about Old Key West is going to be that they have a boat to Disney Springs, which, you know, that'll make it super easy for us to do something at night. And later in the Vlogmas celebration, I'm going to be doing a video all about the nightlife at Walt Disney World. So if you are planning a trip that has some smaller park hours, you definitely don't want to miss that video because I'm going to tell you all about the different things that you can do after the parks close, but before you want to go to bed. Some of those things I am going to mention in today's video, but I'm not going to go super detailed because I don't want this video to go on forever. So we fly out of Baltimore, and when we are doing a shorter trip, or really most trips, we like to fly as early as possible. So we usually take like a 6:10 a.m. flight. And that way we land in Orlando by like 8:30 in the morning. And we still have like an entire day. So that's what we're doing this time. We'll be flying Southwest because that's my favorite airline personally. And then we are hoping to land by 8:30 as long as everything goes according to plan. And be on the Magical Express by 9. We know exactly where we're going when we get off the plane, so finding the Magical Express does not take that long for us. It's just a matter of actually, you know, walking, and we don't stop. We don't go in the little shops. There's a lot of little shops in the Orlando airport, and you can get very distracted, but you just gotta keep walking. So we are hoping to be at the resort by 9:30. That usually does work out for us. One of the great things about the Magical Express is we don't have to worry about getting our luggage because we know it's going to show up in our room later that day. In our carry-on, we will pack the essentials for the park we are going to, everything that we'll need for that day before we go back to the hotel that night. So when we get off the Magical Express, we really just walk across. Sometimes we'll leave one of the bags at Bell Services, but basically we'll just walk over to the buses and get on the park bus. So for this trip, we're going to go right over to Hollywood Studios. If the timing works out, we should be in the park by 10:30. Even though we think we'll be in the park by 10:30, we made sure not to make any plans before about 12:30 because you never know with air travel what's going to happen. So our dining reservation, we have a 12:30 at Mama Melrose's, which is an Italian restaurant. It's a little bit tucked kind of out of the way, but I've eaten there once before a couple years ago and really enjoyed it. And for those of you that don't know, I recently discovered that I have a gluten allergy, and Mama Melrose's comes really highly recommended from people that have a gluten allergy. They do a really good job there. So we are super excited to try that out this trip. When you are planning like time-wise for a dining reservation, minimum you should plan for is an hour and a half. A lot of times, if you're a small party, you'll get out of there faster, but you don't want to miss something because you underestimated how long something was going to take you. So really, we didn't want to make any plans before like 2 o'clock. So that works out perfectly because I got a 1:55 to 2:55 Fast Pass for Toy Story Mania. Now, if all goes according to plan, we will have already been to Toy Story Land and ridden Toy Story Mania at least once. We love that ride, so we'll probably ride it at least twice while we're in Hollywood Studios. And then before lunch, we also hope to do Slinky Dog Dash and Alien Swirling Saucers. So again, the plan is to do that before lunch, but we still have that Fast Pass that we can go ride Toy Story again. Our next Fast Pass after Toy Story Mania is going to be the Frozen Sing-Along from 3 o'clock to 3:15. Now, the window for this and for a couple other shows in Walt Disney World is only 15 minutes because it's priority seating for a specific show. So this one is for the 3:30 show. So if you're not there by 3:15, they're going to start letting other people in to fill the theater. So if you do Fast Pass a show like that, you have to make sure you're on time for that Fast Pass. You do not have an hour. Finally, our last Fast Pass is for Tower of Terror from 4:20 to 5:20. And this is one that the day of, I'll probably try to move up to closer to 4 o'clock. And that's just so that we can get out of the park after that. We don't like to dilly-dally or wait around for Fast Passes, so we'll either find another Fast Pass or we will look for something with a shorter wait and experience that while we are waiting for that window. But once we're done, unless there's something someone really wants to do, we just move on to the next activity. Depending on how we're feeling, we may call it quits after Tower of Terror, or we might stay through to Fantasmic, or we might split up, you know. We're adults, so we kind of go off by ourselves a lot. After Hollywood Studios, whoever feels up to it is going to head over to Disney Springs to hang out there for the evening. So we will probably, if we leave after Tower of Terror, we'll probably eat dinner at Disney Springs, because I've been watching a lot of videos on Disney Springs restaurants lately, and I'm really excited to try some of them that I haven't necessarily tried before. Or we may stay and catch Fantasmic, not really sure what we're going to be feeling. So we'll just kind of play that by ear. The next day, so Tuesday, we are going to Magic Kingdom. And on our Magic Kingdom days, we actually don't have any dining reservations. We've done almost all of the dining options in Magic Kingdom. I think the only one we haven't done is Diamond Horseshoe. And, you know, like, the character dining's fun when you have kids with you. Okay, I love Crystal Palace, but my mom's kind of over character dining, so anyway. We are not making any reservations for Magic Kingdom this trip. We're just gonna eat at quick service and maximize the amount of time that we are having in the parks. So our first Fast Pass is from 10:25 to 11:25, and that's gonna be Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. A lot of people, when the park opens, they go straight back to Fantasyland to get in line for Seven Dwarfs, or they go over to Space Mountain in Tomorrowland. We've noticed that a lot of times people don't go left. They don't go toward Adventureland and Frontierland. It seems like, I don't know, like human nature is just to go right. Now, of course, there are people that do go left, and you will not be the only people on the left side of the park. But the crowds are a lot thinner on the left side. So, we will make our way, if we rope drop, we'll make our way back to Big Thunder, but we might start there depending on how late we're out the night before. We don't like to kind of put a time crunch on it, like, we'll get there when we get there. Now, that's really because we're annual pass holders and we do go so often that we don't feel like we're missing anything if we don't ride Big Thunder this trip. Like, not a big deal. If you are someone that goes once every couple years, you probably have a much different opinion on this. And that's totally fine. However you Disney vacation is the right way to Disney vacation. There's no such thing as a wrong way. We will try to hit Big Thunder toward the end of that hour, and that's because our Haunted Mansion Fast Pass is the next one, and it starts at 12:25. So the ending of Big Thunder and the start of Haunted Mansion are right in line with each other. I always try to do this because that means that if the rides are really close together, you can bang them out really fast consecutively. So it makes it easier for you to move that next Fast Pass up so that you can use that up and then keep making more. So before we do Big Thunder, I don't think we'll do Splash. I think it might be down for renovation when we're there because it usually goes down over the winter. And also it's going to be way too cold, so Splash will be skipped whether it's open or not. On the way back to Big Thunder, we'll probably hit Jungle Cruise and the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. Maybe meet Jasmine and Aladdin if they are out yet. But, you know, we're really just going through. We'll probably hit Pirates. And then hit Haunted Mansion. And once we hit Haunted Mansion, it'll be 11:30, probably between 11:30 and 12. So depending on what we did for breakfast, we might be starting to get a little bit hungry. And one thing that I want to try this trip, I've never actually seen it in person, but I know it's a thing that happens in the colder months. But we have gone in the warmer months lately. So they sell roasted corn at the Liberty Market right outside of Hall of Presidents. So I want to try that for a snack, which this sounds like a good time to do it. But if we're hungry for lunch, Columbia Harbor House has been really good. I ate there a couple times in October because they had really good gluten-free chicken nuggets. So I'm like 5 years old and still love chicken nuggets. But really, Disney nuggets are the best chicken nuggets you'll ever eat. Not necessarily the gluten-free ones, but, you know, regular Disney nuggets, A+. So we'll either have that snack or eat lunch at Columbia, and then we'll move on to Fantasyland. Our last scheduled Fast Pass currently is Rapunzel and Tiana meet and greet at Princess Fairy Tale Hall from 12:40 to 1:40. So we may try to move that up, but the timing probably will align pretty well so that we don't really need to. And then from there we'll do Fantasyland. We'll try to get Fast Passes for whatever we can, and whatever we don't get to, not a big deal. The park is open till 8 o'clock that night, and so we will do the fireworks, Happily Ever After. Once Upon a Time, I'm not sure if it'll be running, but if it is, I would love to watch that. And after the park closes, we're probably going to head over to Trader Sam's. Trader Sam's I will talk about in the Nightlife at Walt Disney World video, but it's a bar at Polynesian. That's all you need to know for now. But it's a very exciting bar, and I'm very excited to tell you about it. The reason we're doing Trader Sam's that night is because it's super easy to get to from Magic Kingdom. You just hop on the monorail and get off at the Polynesian. The next morning, we are going to have breakfast at Olivia's Cafe at Old Key West at 8:30. So we're not sleeping in, but we're also not getting up at the crack of dawn. And this is our Epcot day. When we plan Epcot days, we don't make plans early at Epcot because I love Epcot. Like, that was my home park. Like, that's where I worked. So I love Epcot as much as the next person. But we as a family don't need a full day in Epcot. We really only need the afternoon and the evening. And that is because, first of all, I can't ride Mission Space. It makes me very, very ill. So that cuts out a big chunk of waiting right there. And then we don't always do Turtle Talk because we don't have little kids. There's a lot of things that we just don't necessarily do. Figment we don't necessarily do. Just because, you know, we're in a different place in our life than some other families. So we don't find that we need that whole day in Epcot. So usually on Epcot day we try to sleep in a little bit and hang out at the resort and then go in for the later part of the day. So our first Fast Pass is for Living with the Land from 10:05 to 11:05. We're going to try to hit it much closer to 11:05. That's because our Fast Pass after that is for the Seas with Nemo and Friends. That one's from 11:20 to 12:20. So by the time we get off Living with the Land, if we time it right, we will get off and go right to Nemo. And before we do Living with the Land, we'll probably hit Soarin'. And then for our Tier 1 Fast Pass, we chose Frozen Ever After from 1:20 to 2:20. So between that Seas Fast Pass and Frozen, we will possibly do Single Rider for Test Track, possibly grab some lunch, and possibly well, definitely ride Spaceship Earth at least once or twice. I could ride Spaceship Earth all day long, but my mom doesn't want to do that, so. After Frozen Ever After, we will walk around the World Showcase and probably get some snacks, and my mom loves Voices of Liberty. I do too, but my mom's like obsessed with Voices of Liberty. So she usually likes to catch as many of their shows as possible. So we'll definitely make our way back there. And there's some things I'd like to try in France, so definitely going to be going to France. And yeah, that's going to be our day in Epcot. I would like to watch Illuminations. Illuminations is not my mom's favorite show. It's probably her least favorite show. But because I worked Illuminations, it holds a very special place in my heart. And it's going away at the end of next summer, so I need to see it a couple more times. So I'll make sure to see it in January and again in March. After Epcot closes at 9 o'clock, we will probably head back through International Gateway and go to Boardwalk to hang out at Jelly Rolls. Jelly Rolls is a dueling piano bar that I will go into more detail about in the Nightlife at Walt Disney World video. But let me just say, it's super fun. I went there last time we were there, and it was lit. On Thursday, we are going to plan to sleep in a little bit. It's another Magic Kingdom day, and our first Fast Pass is for Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger spin from 10:45 to 11:45. Again, we're going to try to hit at the end of that Fast Pass window so that when we get off, we can hit our Space Mountain Fast Pass, which is for 11:50 to 12:50. And after that Space Mountain Fast Pass is used, it'll be toward the front of that Fast Pass window. So we will do Carousel of Progress, we will do People Mover, probably twice. I love People Mover. Maybe hit Buzz Lightyear one more time and possibly meet Buzz Lightyear. We'll see. But trying to stay in that general area because our next Fast Pass is Seven Dwarfs Mine Train from 12:55 to 1:55. And if you're familiar with the layout of Magic Kingdom, that's not that far of a walk from Tomorrowland. It's probably a 5-minute walk from Space Mountain-ish. It's probably a 5-minute walk from like the middle of Tomorrowland over to Seven Dwarfs. So staying in that general area is a great way to make sure we get everything done in Tomorrowland that we didn't get done on Tuesday, and also conserve some energy. After that Seven Dwarfs Fast Pass, my goal is to meet a couple of characters because on our October trip, once we did the Halloween party, we didn't do any more characters for the rest of the trip. So, I don't know. I like pictures of characters. So, that is on my to-do list. And then, after the park closes, again at 8 o'clock, we will possibly head to Top of the World Lounge at Contemporary and possibly head to Disney Springs, one or the other. So, wherever the night takes us, we will be sure to catch the fireworks. The next morning is Friday morning, which is the day we go home. So we have to check out of our room by 11, and then we are heading to Animal Kingdom. I was able to score 10:05 to 11:05 Fast Passes for Flights of Passage, which every time we've gone to make Fast Passes for it before, they've always been super late in the evening, or the afternoon, like 2 o'clock. And that's no good, because then you can't, like, get new Fast Passes because you haven't used all 3. So super excited that we got those. I like woke up, rolled over, made Fast Passes real quick, and then went back to sleep. It was fantastic. I always do that, but I usually can't get Flights of Passage like that. So that Fast Pass window ends at 11:05, and then our next one starts at 11:30, and that's for Festival of the Lion King. This is another one of those 15-minute window Fast Passes. So we have from 11:30 to 11:45 to be there so that we can be seated in the Fast Pass area for the 12 o'clock show. After that show, we will probably walk back to Pandora to eat lunch at Satuli Canteen. That's one of my favorite restaurants on Disney property. Quick service, table service, all the services. I love Satuli Canteen, and so does most of my friends and family who've been there. Our next Fast Pass is from 12:35 to 1:35 at Kilimanjaro Safari. So after lunch, or maybe before lunch, you know, whichever, we will go do that. We always do the safari. It's a lot of fun, and you never get the same experience twice. Lastly, our Magical Express will probably pick us up between 4 and 4:30 because we are flying out at 7:30. So it usually comes between 3 and 4 hours before your flight takes off. So that'll be very sad. but I'll have less than 60 days until my next trip, so. I actually am pretty sure I have to make my fast passes for the March trip while we're on the January trip. It's all good. Very exciting. If you want to see a video like this about my March trip, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed with the notification bell turned on so that you don't miss the rest of my Vlogmas videos. I've got some super exciting stuff coming up that you definitely don't want to miss. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye!